My name is Alson Bondy, and I originally came from Bogue, Kansas, and now I live in the suburb of St. Paul, Minnesota. My field of study when I was here from 1939 till 1942 was I took math courses mostly, and German. I loved German. I was 16 and then I was 17 October 5th, but I was 16 when I started college, which was too young, probably why I didn't study. Mr. Albertson was one of my first teachers when I thought I was going to follow in my brother's footsteps to do something with the Soil Conservation Service, but it turned out that I didn't care much for going out in the field and looking at various plants and weeds and trying to figure out what they were. But Mr. Albertson was very nice to me. I remember going to him one time, telling him my eyes really hurt. And he said, well, have you had your glasses checked recently? Which I hadn't. And one of the teachers I enjoyed was Frau Golden, who taught German. Every Monday, she would have us sing America the Beautiful. I can still say the words, Gott segne Amerika, mein Lieblingsland. I liked Frau Golden. I think she had that because she wanted people to know that she was a good American citizen, which she appreciated at the time. There was one lady named Miss Agnew. I believe it was my last year there. Now we had to pay something like $21 a semester for tuition. My dad had died back when I was in high school, and my mom couldn't come up with the $21, and Miss Agnew said, well, Alson, we can't let you go, and we'll work something out. And I never heard anything further about the $21. They were odd looking rooms because they narrowed down to nothing because they were right below the seats and on the second floor, I guess you'd call it. And quite a few of us lived there. I was in a bottom bunk, but there was another fellow in the top bunk who fell out. Well, it turned out that he had epilepsy, and so I switched beds with him. I ended up in the top bunk. So one thing I can remember is a fellow that loved to nap in the daytime, and he had his shoes on, and we put lit matches stuck in his shoe, and he woke up fairly swiftly. It was one of the nicer places to live. We liked it better than we did the dormitories that we had lived in before. I joined a fraternity, the Phi Sigma Epsilon, and the guys there were very nice to me and showed me around. The funny part of it was that was supposed to be the athletic fraternity, and I was about as athletic. Well, as a part of the joining the Phi Sig, we had one of the things I had to do was go to one of these women's dormitories and go to the outside window and get a pair of panties. Well, they knew what was going on, so the one girl had the panties already. I worked in the college cafeteria and had some fun there with various guys and girls. And I guess that's where a good many of the students ate anyway, maybe most of them. They had the Catholics, you had to give, on Fridays, you had to give fish to them and meat to the Protestants. Well, I was really kind of small to carry those trays. Eventually I got behind the counter where I dished out the food. A buddy and I hitchhiked up to a town further west where there was a dance supposedly going on, and we met another fellow there from college whose father was had a Mercury dealership, and this kid was what I can remember most. We went to his home overnight. I can remember his driving us there in this new Mercury, and we were going back and forth across the road, weaving. I'm sure he wasn't completely sober. We stayed at his house, and the next morning we heard that Pearl Harbor had been bombed. And so the rest of that school year I finished, but then that summer I joined the Navy flight training program.